connection. Are we live? Hey everybody, we are here. This is Steve Delmonte from Delmo Sports, an Ironman 70.3 Atlantic City, presented by Delmo Sports, happening on September 18th. And there's a few things that make this event special. Number one, that we have an Ironman event, branded event here in the state of New Jersey, which we're terribly excited about. Number two is that we have the most women participating of any 70.3 in the world.
Wow.
This is number one.
Wow.
And I think there's a couple reasons for that. We have two of the greatest triathlon clubs in the country, with the Jersey Girls Stay Strong Multisport Club, as well as the Mullica Hill Women's Triathlon Club. And we're also surrounded by the Medford Lakes Women's Triathlon Club, the Westchester Women's Triathlon Club, and I'm a member of the Wild Harbor Tri Club, which is like 98% women, which is great.
Don't forget the Philly Tri Clubs too.
And the Philly Tri Clubs as well. So we're blessed really to have so many passionate triathletes and ladies in the sport in this area. The purpose of what we're doing here today to start this off is we have Dr. Mitch Green from Green Sports Psychology. And Dr. Mitch here, if you don't know him, he is the official sports psychologist of Delmo Sports. He's the guy that's on the boat here at Escape the Cape with us and helping athletes overcome whatever they need to overcome to take that next step. And he's worked with some of the best triathletes in the world. I know you know that he has worked with USA Olympian Joey Malloy, who is our hometown hero here in the Wildwoods. He's worked with Joey from when he wasn't Joe Malloy, that you know, to now being the number one ranked triathlete in the U.S. Jesse Thomas, all right? If you've ever heard of Jesse Thomas, which if you read Triathlete Magazine, you know he's the guy with the aviators. He's got picky bars. He's very popular. He is lasered into Kona this year.
For sure.
And he works with Dr. Mitch, as well as the Wassenaar twins from New York City. So Dr. Mitch is well-versed working with triathletes of every ability level, from Kona aspiring athletes to Olympians, all right, to just the regular everyday person that just wants to jump off the boat,
right,
as well as complete their first 70.3, and we're going to do that in Atlantic City. So without any further ado, Dr. Mitch Green, and we're going to get right into it. And Dr. Mitch, we'd like to talk about, you know, everybody's done their work, right? Yeah. We've all done the work. They signed up. Remember, this race sold out November 9th.
That's right.
So everyone's been in this race for a long time. They've all trained. They've all done what they were supposed to do. Now we're within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're within 2 weeks, guys. Yeah. So what kind of advice can you give? Because the physical part's over. It's all about what's between the ears, and this is your specialty. I mean, this is so important. What can you explain to an athlete that they need to remember?
Well, you know, I know taper week in and of itself has its own worries that it can create, because all of a sudden your whole schedule changes. You find yourself with more free time. You know, Steve mentions Joe Malloy. You know, Joe likes to think of it as peak week, the week or so before a race. He doesn't like the word taper week, because he thinks it sort of represents this idea that you're sort of slowing things down, and he loves this idea that you're gearing things up. So that's just a little tip from Joe that I wanted to pass on to all of you.
Words are powerful.
Those words are powerful. You're peaking now. You're not tapering. And along those lines, I think, though, the nerves are going to come, and Steve and I were talking earlier that one of the most important pieces of advice I can give you is not to be tricked and fooled by these nerves, by all this anticipation, and assuming that because you're so nervous, if you are, that means you're not ready to roll. You are ready. You're ready to roll. I know the training is there, but I understand right now more than any other time probably over the last couple of months, your mind starts to play some tricks on you. So, as Steve said, it's time now, even in your practice and training sessions, to get ready and get prepared so you don't just hope things go well on race day. They will go well, especially if you get yourself ready now. So here are a couple of top tips, and then we can move forward. First, the first thing to go is everybody's breathing pattern tends to get completely spasmodic on the race day. So now's the time to begin to practice the kind of rhythmic, calm, in and out breathing, even though I understand you may not, in a training session, feel particularly anxious or feel like there's a lot at stake. It's still time to practice that now. do a couple of jumping jacks, do a couple of push-ups before you jump in and do that easy swim set, and practice the breathing to calm yourself down while you get ready to roll in the water, if that's something that's particularly nerve-wracking to you. The key is to understand that the nerves are going to be part of your race day plan, and you could have the race of your life even if you're particularly nervous. You know, not to go on too long, Steve, but everyone says to me, how do I get to feel more confident? And as a sports psychologist, when I hear someone say I need to be more confident, I hear they don't know how to handle these feelings that they're feeling inside of them. So to me, it's really not about trying to trick yourself to feel more confident. It's learning how to manage the doubts. And by one of the next things I want to talk about is to not focus so much on these doubts. You're going to have them, but I don't want you, again, to let them trick you.
We all have them. I mean, we all have them. I mean, I'm your race director. I'm listening to this as much as you're saying it. I mean, there are things I've been preparing my entire life for this, really. This is my life's work coming to fruition here. And I have to remember to take a deep breath.
Yes.
The work's been done.
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy this.
I was lucky enough and worked hard enough to make it to do my own Ironman years ago. And here's your sports psychologist telling you I was on the beach talking myself down and reminding myself. One of the things I do is I thank my doubts for sharing. It sounds a little bit silly, but I expect them to come. I know that they're going to start chirping and chatting. And I kind of do a quick, yeah, thanks for sharing. I get what you want to say. But then I start to focus more on my race plan, which is what I want you guys to focus on. Yeah. Steve and I were talking, if we just take the water for a moment, as you're getting in and you're managing your breathing, you really need to expect that the swim is going to require you to make some adjustments. You may have a plan A, which is to swim from here to there without any trouble. Realistically, as Steve was saying, there's going to be something that's going to come up. Now's the time to think about how do you want to handle the feelings that will come up? How do you want to handle the distractions or disruptions that could come up? And for some of you, the simple task of just starting off by saying you're going to swim 15 strokes. For some, as Steve, I was giving him the advice, some need to start by doing the fingertip drill. You know that drill you may be doing practice all the time? Start with that. Why do I like that idea? Because at least it's going to get you into the right proper form. Yeah. I'd rather you focus on something you can control. You've heard that before. And your form than on what could go or might happen wrong. Along the way, you can count your strokes. You can sing to yourself. You could certainly hold on to one of the support team in the water. But make sure you have that plan ahead of time.
Yeah, and I've raced often, and I've been racing a long time. And I mean, I'm no Michael Egan in the water, Mike, but I do okay. And there is a point in every swim where I think to myself, why am I here? Why did I sign up to do this? You know, my face is in the water. I'm hypoxic. I can't breathe. And I just got to remember to slow down. You'll get through it. This is the shortest portion of the race. Right. And I remember, you signed up for this, Steve. It's okay. You've done the work. You've put the training in. And I have to calm myself down. It's so easy to get keyed up in that beginning. And you got to remember, swimming is the most inefficient thing a human being can do. It's the most difficult thing we can do is to put ourselves in water. So just
You've
relax.
seen me swim, I see?
Yes, all right. I've seen you swim. So just, that's going to happen. It happens to me. I'm sure it'll happen to others. And for some, it might not. But just know, I just know it's going to happen every time. And I know what I have to do to myself, you know, to get out of it. And for me, it's actually to thank a lifeguard. That's what I do. I mean, to get out of that, if I swim past a lifeguard, I say thank you real quick. That's my thing. You may have your thing.
Yeah, so just to sum it up, you have a plan A, how you want the race to go, but if you don't have a plan B, you're not as ready as you can be to race this race. We're talking about the swim, but that's true of the entire race of itself. Take the time now before the event to think what you are most concerned could happen, what's the feelings you're most worried about, and write it down, think about it, incorporate it into your training sessions, how you want to handle it, and that will help you gain more confidence come race morning. The other thing just to add as well is, you know, you're so goal-focused. Triathletes are the most type A, goal-focused people I've ever been around. So I'm happy they keep me very busy.
They are?
They are.
I didn't know that.
They are. Exhibit A.
Care.
Exhibit A. So if you spend that time overly focusing on your goals, though, you're maybe not focusing on something else. I talked about the difference between goals and purpose. You know, the goals are what you want for this race. You want to win. You want to get on the podium. You just want to finish. You just want to survive. Those are good. You need goals. But you need these goals in order to have this experience. And that's really fundamentally probably the day you registered in November. It's because you were looking for something. Not really much about goals, but you were looking for an experience that was different than Netflix on the weekend, different from having that feeling, hearing about your buddies going out and racing and taking charge of life. So this nervousness means you're leaning into life. It means you're living life out loud. It means you are doing something right. And so that's the piece that I want you to take with you into this race. Isn't just the goal piece, because that can get over-focused, and the more we over-focus on goals, which means results, the tighter we get. The purpose piece is so big because that gets you to embrace this challenge of living life in a way that's kind of gets you out of your funk and gets you to experience something that most people don't even get a chance to experience. So while you have your very, fine plan about how you want to handle things, the big picture piece is as important as anything. This is an opportunity for you to experience something and live a life that you've been dreaming of. Don't lose sight of that, no matter what the results are.
Yeah, results are meaningless. They really are. I mean, everyone's going to go through something different. We all go through something different. I mean, it's about that journey. It's about the journey. Who were you when you signed up? For some of you, this is your first triathlon ever, which to me is unbelievable. Like, for some people, their first triathlons ever are a full distance Ironman. That's insane.
It is.
But that's what they do. And you have to remember who you were when you signed up and who have you grown to become now that race week is there. That's what's important.
Yeah.
It's not the medal. It's not your shirt. It's not your swag. And because I know how you are. Relax. That's not what it's about. It's about who you're becoming along this journey. That's why I do triathlon. I can never, we always say, why do I produce triathlons? Because I can never give back to it what it's given to me. It's given to me so much. I've become so much of a better person. At least I think so. For those of you that hate me, I could really care less. But that's what it's about. You're a better person for going through these 10 months of training. You are more disciplined. You're probably a person that's more pleasant to be around, unless you're overtrained and you're miserable and everybody hates you. But relax. But that's what's important in this event, and I think we have to get them to remember that.
Yeah, and I think along those lines, I guess it reminds me, you want to be around other people who share this kind of bright, positive energy. There are energy suckers out there. Some of them are your friends. Some of them are your training mates. Some of them are in your club with you. The energy that kind of goes into this, I don't want you to lose sight of it even in this last week, about who you surround yourself with. You want to stay away from those people who are going to suck the energy away from you. It could be family members sometimes. It could be training mates. And get a plan even for, this guy's a good guy to hang around and listen to because he's full of great energy and great enthusiasm. And there are other people like that in your lives. For some of you, what can sabotage all this hard work is being around people who seem to sort of take that energy away from you. And I say it kind of to take it seriously. Who's going to be there on race day? Some of it you have no control over. Mm-hmm. Some of it you do have control over. You can be a little selfish on race day. Request who you want there. Ask certain people, if you're willing to hang out and not maybe be there. You want to get yourself in the right frame of mind, and that also includes being around the right group of people this last week.
Yeah, I remember the first half I ever did was Eagle Man in 2000 or 2001. And I remember telling people when I signed up, because I was a baseball player in college. I was not a swimmer, I wasn't a runner, I was more of like a sprinter, just an athletic kid. And
what'd you hit?
I was a pitcher.
Oh,
I was awful.
Awful?
Sucked. Strike zone, allergic to it.
I see.
So,
I see.
mental. So, but I remember when I crossed the line, there were people that said, "What are you doing? You can't do that." And I remember crossing the line and getting really emotional. And I remember cursing them people out loud, and because I proved to myself that I could do it. And little did I know, doing that event was the start of something unbelievable for me. I didn't know it at the time.
Right. But
what I was able to overcome, of what people thought about me, I'm sure there are some of you that you've told people you're going to do this, and they say, you can't do that. I could never do that. And they're just full of this doubt. And this is your opportunity to just do it. Just, no matter how slow, whatever, to just do it. And that's important.
Yeah, and it takes more than confidence. That's why I was saying, the way some people know, I have a phrase, I call it courage over confidence. Because you can't be courageous except in the presence of fear. Fear, by definition, always precedes courageous action. So this is an opportunity to be something, as Steve said, that you never thought you could be. And in order to be that, you need to hearken in on this great courage that is inside of you. So if you're not confident, big deal. You have courage, and that's something you can control. How big you want to be, how willing you are to have this experience. That's going to help you get to where you want to be.
Yeah, I think if you're a little bit nervous or fearful when you're about to start this race, just know what's on the other side of that. Everything has the yin and the yang. The other side of that is you're a beast.
Absolutely.
But you can't be that unless you feel that fear or that anxiety. It's
right.
not going to pull it out of you. That's what it's for. You have to understand that. It's always darkest before light. You have to remember that. If it feels one way in the beginning, just know on the opposite side of that is the real you. That's
right.
What you have to go after.
And all to be able to do this, look, you have to surrender and be willing to surrender all these outcome goals, or too many of the outcome goals that you may have in mind.
Yeah.
Especially for you who are just sort of venturing into this, this territory. First of all, why should you feel confident if you haven't done some of these things before? So let's not worry about that. But you need to surrender too much time goals, too many outcome goals. I have to do it in this. I should do it in that. People expect me to do it in this. That stuff is just ego-based. It's really not about, as we've talked about, the real reason you're doing that. That's all that kind of looking good, puffing chest kind of thing that, frankly, nobody really cares about anyway except you. Everyone's so busy worrying about their own stuff. Nobody at the end of the day really cares how fast you go or how slow you go either.
No.
Okay? So the old cliche, it's about, it's your race and it's about you versus you, really does fit here. So let's leave some of those results back in the car, back in the hotel, back at your house, because, again, that's not why you're here.
Yeah, check your ego at the door, because if you don't, I will. I'll check it for you.
It's a humbling sport, for sure.
There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. If you do it right, you'll have nothing left in the tank. And I will tell you, there is no better feeling than hitting that line, and you gave everything you could over those last 10 months. You did everything you could do, and you did it, and you made it, and you are spent. That's when life feels great.
And will you have to suffer a bit in the race at some level?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Should you be prepared in the thinking you're doing now before the race, how you want to handle the pain, how you want to handle the doubts that come in and say, I don't think I could hold this pace any longer? Now's the time to think about it. Now's the time to think about, look, and you're free to slow down as well.
Yeah.
There's no one way to do this sort of thing. But for those of you who are afraid of feeling uncomfortable or feeling pain, now's the time to think about, do you want to just sort of figure out a way to embrace it, expect it, slow down because of it? But the mind will want to quit. Tell me whether you agree. Make sure you agree. The mind will want to quit before the body does, before the body needs to. Your mind will say no mas. Now, I'm not talking about if you're having injury pain. I'm not talking about those kind of pain, but exertion pain. Your mind will say no more. I don't think I can do it. I'm not sure there's a race I've ever done that I didn't have the thought at one point, this, as you were saying, this is ridiculous. I need out. I don't know if I can hold it. So the mind will go through some of that because it's protecting you. It goes into protective mode.
Survival mode, yep.
And you need to just anticipate you're going to have those thoughts. Where do you want to get yourself focused? You want to focus in the present moment. You want to focus a little bit on your gait. You want to focus on the tree ahead of you. You want to give love to your other athletes out there.
That insane person that's walking on the boardwalk.
That insane
mumbling.
person, that person, you want to tell them to keep going because there are a lot of triathletes who believe in this kind of karma, and I agree that if you give it out to people, you will get it back from others. So you say to them, keep it up, even if you're dying and they look like they're dying, you'll get someone to tell you, and it will help you keep going as well.
There's one thing I can guarantee you here in Atlantic City.
Go ahead.
That there are some races where you go out on the run and you're out there, you're on your own, you're in the woods, you're on some road, it's lonely. There is no shot of you being lonely in Atlantic City.
Okay.
The culture on the boardwalk is unlike any other culture in the world. The AC boardwalk is rich in culture. So I guarantee you there will be some wackadoo that's going to take your mind off the pain at any moment. So you can, and we will have, and I will tell you this on the run, because this is, to me, Doc, it's about the swim and the run. The bike, it's like you've been biking since you were a kid, right? Everybody knows how to bike, but you do the swim, oh, thank God I'm on the bike, and now you can just do whatever you're going to do. Now you get to the run. Now it's like, all right, this sucks. I'm hot, I'm tired, 13 miles. When you get on that run, we are going to have the most amazing volunteers at those aid stations, and all you got to do is get another 1.1 or 1.2 miles to make it to that next group.
Yeah.
They are going to energize you like nobody's business.
And it's a great point about breaking up the race. The race is too long to think about 70.3. The Wassner twins, who Steve was referencing before, they'll tell you they chunk those races into bite-sized pieces, from buoy to buoy, from mile to mile, and certainly on the run, even to smaller, to aid station to aid station.
The run is insane. I mean, there's people singing on benches for whatever reason. I mean, you gotta love it.
Something to look forward to.
Make sure you're taking it all in. I mean, it's really, it's pretty incredible. So, get outside yourself. When you're hurting, get outside yourself. Get outside yourself, and remember, someone's always got it worse out there, and there's a number of examples for people to choose from. But someone somewhere wishes they could be doing what you're doing at that moment, and they can't.
Yeah, for sure.
And you have a gift, and that gift is to play triathlon on September 18th.
Yeah.
Smile, okay? Yeah. Please smile, and then laugh at the crazy people on the boardwalk.
Yeah. No, we both know how hard it is to be playful over these last few weeks. You maybe were playful about a month or so ago, joking and talking about this. We know you can tighten up, but Steve's point has to be well taken in terms of realizing how lucky we are and how lucky you are for all of us that we can get out there and even give this a shot and give it a try. Yeah. Everyone has stories in their own lives. Recently, a guy my age competing in an event similar to this, had something happen, and boy, sometimes it takes those moments to make you realize how blessed,
gratitude,
how gratitude we should all feel.
Oh, so. I'm sorry, you're not running a 6:30 pace. Boo hoo, right? Like, get over it, man. There's an after party after this thing. Like, you can get over it there. Just grind it out. So, I think there's some great points tonight.
Perfect, man.
I think we hit on them, and
and I'm always available through the Delmo site. You can find my information. Shoot me an email. I am good about getting back to people. I'll send you article links. I'll answer any question you have. I'll give you my best advice. So don't, just because tonight's over, don't think that I won't be available to help.
No, Dr. Green has just been a major supporter of Delmo Sports. He's always there for us. I'll tell you something. This is something personal. In college, I mentioned I was speaking in jest, but I had a terrible time in college in baseball. I was very insecure about being on a team that I thought I wasn't supposed to be on, and not until my going into my senior year, I went to go see a sports psychologist because I was having a lot of trouble with throwing the ball. And I went because I sought out, I wanted to get better, and I was like, I got the physical tools. There's no question. I had to get that mental game right. Yeah. And I went and saw someone who was an athlete's, it was his father. And that senior year turned out to be the best year I ever had. And I learned some tools. I remembered why I was there, right? We talk about remember why you're there, man. You're playing baseball or you're playing triathlon. Remember why you're there. Loosen up, relax, smile, enjoy the moment. All these things. But I had to be cued to remember it. And I had to do these little techniques to remember it. And so that's a true story. I had to, go and seek out that help, and it really made a difference for me.
A couple of key reminders, a couple of key ideas.
It's all it took.
It's all it takes, yeah.
It all took a couple of things, and it was like, oh, yeah, that's right. Stop being such a wuss.
Has that really changed?
No. I need a lot of help, Doc. I need a lot of help.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. After you guys leave, I'm going to help him.
Awesome. So what we're gonna get into right now is I'm gonna get into the top need to knows regarding Ironman Atlantic City 70.3. Number one for you, if you're not familiar, and Doc's still gonna be here, he's gonna be coaching me. We have an app at Delmo Sports. Okay, download the Delmo app. In the Delmo app, there's a 70.3 button. You get your there he goes. It'll be loading. Everything you need to know about Ironman 70.3 Atlantic City is in this app. There's course schedules, FAQs, live tracking. So you're going to want your family and friends, tell them to download the app. This is not a marketing tool where I push save $1 today. That's not what it's for. This is for you, okay? So when you get on site and you want to see, yep, there's the athlete guide. Don't get me started about the athlete guide. It took us months. There's the athlete guide right there. There's the schedule right there. If I just hit the button, the schedule's going to come up for the 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There it is at the touch of your fingertips. Download the Delmo Sports app. Everything you need is in there, especially the live tracking for your family and friends, so we can show your progress or lack thereof. All right. Next thing, parking and shuttles. Parking and shuttles, okay? In your athlete guide, which is in the app, we clearly explain the parking scenario for Ironman 70.3 Atlantic City. You will be flagged on in. You will have to pay at the expo. You have to pay to park on Bader Field. It is a city ordinance, ordinance number 24. This is not a Delmo thing. We don't make money off of parking. You got to understand, City of Atlantic City is allowing us to use the field. There comes a cost with that. That field's got to get mowed, got to get cleaned, got to get, there's a cost. It's $10 for the weekend for the athlete. $10. For a spectator, it's $10 each time they come on the Bader Field. This is the way it is. It's seamless. It's easy. You pay at the expo. You show them your ticket on the way out, and you're good to go. All right? Please read up on the parking and the shuttles. I'm not going to get too into it because it's in your athlete guide, and I know you'll read it. Your hotels. If you haven't booked, book a hotel. We have many partners in Atlantic City. We have a Marriott. We have a Sheraton. So if you're a Marriott member, you're a Starwood member. We have Caesars Entertainment Properties. Harrah's, which is a great property we're running a shuttle from. They have rooms available. Bally's has rooms available. Caesars has rooms available. We just got a new block with Tropicana, which is only about a mile from Transition. Wow. Get yourself a room or bunk up, get VRBO, whatever you got to do, but get yourselves ready to go, okay? Get yourselves ready to go and get reserved. So too many of you Larry late slips, not having it, all right? Relay teams. There's 100 relay teams, which means we have approximately 250 to 300 relay team members. That's like the size of a race in South Jersey, okay? Depending if you have 2 or 3 relay members. Your chip exchange, relay members, will take place in a specific part of Transition, the back of Transition. You will not meet at the bike in Transition. You will be to the back. There'll be a chip exchange area. That's where you will exchange your chips. All relay teams, Doc, teams will be in a certain area of Transition, so we got a lot of movement there. So that's how relay teams are going to work. Remember, it's the runner's responsibility for collecting the finisher medal for the swimmer and cyclist. Per Ironman policy, don't argue with me, one person goes across that finish line. That's the way it is. They have piles and piles and piles of data and lawsuits to back that up, okay? One person goes across the finish line. Don't worry. All athletes are allowed in the finisher area at Kennedy Plaza. You can get at the step and repeat and take your picture and whatnot. But, again, that finisher area of Kennedy Plaza is just for athletes only. You get your food, and then you come out of that to see all of your family and friends. And they'll know exactly where you are because we have live athlete tracking in our app. Okay?
Perfect.
Packet pickup and bike check-in times. Here we go. Packet pickup, Friday, September 16th, 12 to 5 p.m. You can pick it up on Friday and be done. Or you can do it on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Bader Field. Remember this, bike check-in is from 10 to 4 on Saturday. So you have to check your bike in on Saturday. So if you pick up your packet on Friday,
right,
you still have to bring your bike back on Saturday. So if you want to avoid the possible lines of packet pickup on a Saturday and you're there, get your stuff on Friday. Then when you roll in nice and smooth on Saturday, this is about being prepared, being ready, Doc.
Put your number on the bike, do all that on Friday.
Get all that done, and then put your bike in on Saturday pain-free, right? Making it stress-free. This is about having a plan. When you have a plan, you're ready to go. P.S. I got this in Lake Placid. I didn't get it for Atlantic City, so just letting you know. Iron Kids. The number is climbing. We have an Iron Kids run, half-mile run and mile run. That is going to be Saturday at 9 a.m. We're looking forward to making these kids suffer. They make you suffer. Online registration closes for Iron Kids September 14th, but you can register in person during packet pickup. You can show up as early as 8 o'clock in the morning to sign your kid up, or somebody else's kid, whatever. Just kidding. Sign them up for the race that begins at 9. You can do that from 8 to 8:45. 8 to 8:45. Kids receive a bib, a finisher shirt, Ironman tats, stickers, and all kids receive a complimentary pass to the Steel Pier Amusement Park on the boardwalk in Atlantic City. They have a lot of great rides for the kids, as well as they have a discount for family members to purchase passes and things like that for the ride. So the kids get it's a pretty sweet deal.
They have a discount where?
They have a discount. Steel Pier will be
Pier.
selling discounted tickets to family members and friends to go to the Steel Pier that day. So just to kind of get your mind off racing, just do a little something for your kids. That way you get them off your back. Don't worry, I got 2 kids. I understand. It's all right. Athlete meetings. We're going to have 3 of them. Oh, actually, we have 5 of them. We have 2 on Friday, 1 at 1, 1 at 3, and we have 3 on Saturday, 10 a.m., 12 p.m., and 2 p.m. Go to one. We have we rented a special tent for the athlete meeting. So if there's inclement weather, or it's a little breezy, or if it's really sunny and hot, like this weekend's going to be sunny and hot, you'll be out of the elements, okay, in shade. Go to a meeting. Go to a meeting. The first time we're going to start the meeting off is I'm going to be like, download the app, Go through it, ask questions. We'll be there to answer questions, okay? Many of those questions can be answered in the app, which has the athlete guide, but I understand that personal one-on-one interaction really makes you feel a lot better, and we get that, and that's why we have these athlete meetings. Drive the course, okay? Do not attempt to ride your bike on the Atlantic City Expressway at all. Number one,
The race will be over.
Number one, you can get arrested. That's a good possibility, which kind of can complete the weekend in Atlantic City. And number 2, you don't have to do it, guys. So drive the course. Drive through Pleasantville, Egg Harbor Township, Hamilton. Get out and do the loop. Drive it. That course will be marked by our guys probably as early as Wednesday. So you'll see the tape on the ground. You'll know where the aid stations are, at the Weekstown and 7th Avenue, at Buffalo and Dewar, on Tilton Road across from the Blue Heron Pines Golf Course. It's your responsibility to know this, okay? Get out there and drive the course. By all means, get out there, park your car, and ride the loop out in Galloway. Do it early. Be safe. Follow the rules of the road. Wear a helmet. Make sure you got bright colored clothes on, but there will be a lot of athletes out there, so make sure you're knowing that course. And I got to tell you, the bike course is gorgeous. It's beautiful. There's people that do their rides all the time out there. Okay. We're excited to show people that aren't from the area that this is the Garden State.
Right.
There's horse farms, a lot of Christmas tree farms. There's Jersey fresh produce. This is where it comes from. You pass a winery, don't drink and drive. So we're excited for that.
And all the aid stations, they could map that out on the app.
Yep.
And find out where they
absolutely. You can see where the aid stations.
Is it bottle exchange stuff?
Yeah, we have bottle exchange on the bike.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, bottle exchange on the bike. So very cool. 2 more things here I'm going to get to. The cue sheets in the athlete guide, which is in the app. Practice swim and the swim start. We don't have a scheduled practice swim, and that's what I'm going to tell you. This is why. This race has got 3,000 people in it. Okay. The swim course is an intercoastal waterway. That means there's boat traffic. What
does that mean to them?
To me, what that means is there's a lot of boats going back and forth. I really don't want you swimming in that water. Now, you can swim at your own risk, but key word there is risk. Now, for the race, Doc,
right.
This thing's shut down. I mean, we have the Coast Guard, the State Police, we got Fire Department, Beach Patrol. You're safe. But by no means, don't go out there. It's a body of water. It's like a lake with a little bit of current. You've done it before. Swim in the ocean in front of the lifeguard. Do that. Go in the ocean and swim in front of a lifeguard. There's the Atlantic City Beach Patrol, the first beach patrol in the world. They're there. They have a perfect record, okay? Swim in front of them. Get your swim on in front of them. But don't go in the intercoastal by yourself. It's not smart, okay? Sometimes that's just the way it is. The body of water that we had to commandeer, it's going to be great for you on race morning. But don't go in there by yourself. There's people, there's boat traffic. It's just, use your head, okay? You've come this far. Let's just go the whole way, all right? Let's go the whole way. On race morning, you may not enter the water prior to, okay? Don't get frustrated with us. This is just the way it's got to be for Atlantic City for it to work. You will have 4 minutes in between waves, okay? Get to the front of the line and be one of those people that gets in there and do a light warm-up prior to going into the water, and then swim a little bit once you get in there waiting for the gun to go off.
Right. They don't have to.
You don't have to. You don't have to. But for me personally,
You like to.
I like to. I like to be at the front of the line, get into the water first. That way I can wade in the water. My body's moving, the blood's flowing. I'm going to be a little bit more ready.
Okay.
Prepare yourself to do a jog on Bader Field to get yourself warmed up race morning.
Right.
That's the best thing I can tell you, because once your bike's in transition, it's not coming out.
But if they want to be in the back of the group, for those who feel that's fine. They don't
Perfectly
have to,
acceptable.
They can do what they want.
Perfectly
as long
acceptable.
as they're with their group.
Absolutely, absolutely. Volunteers, okay? Volunteers. We have amazing volunteers, and we need some more, okay? We have a few more captains positions available. If you're thinking about volunteering, all volunteer captains are going to get laced out with some nice gear. They get official captain's gear, and we're actually going to wait till after to give it to you, because we want to get your size perfect and then send you really nice stuff, okay? So instead of just giving you a generic thing that says captain and it's like 3 sizes too big, no. You'll get volunteer gear, and then you're going to get your special volunteer captain's gear mailed to you shortly after the race, so that way it fits perfectly, okay? Sign up on our volunteer page at Ironman 70.3 Atlantic City website. For our Q&A, we have Sarah and Minnie. They're answering questions during the video. If some of you have had questions, you can see the responding under the Ironman 70.3 Atlantic City tag. We'll be ready to go. We really, one thing, and Doc, you can get back in here.
Sure.
I want you to understand, for some of you, this is your first 70.3, Ironman 70.3 race. And I'll tell you this. This is my first Ironman 70.3 race as a producer. I want you to know personally that this event matters to me. It all matters to me. For those of you that race Ironman exclusively, you probably picked up that we do things differently than anyone. We just do them than anyone, because this really, really matters to me. And my goal is to give you the best product you've ever received under the Ironman brand. That's my goal. Ironman takes a survey every year of every race. My goal and our goal at Delmo Sports is to win the survey. Am I going to be perfect? Negative. Impossible. It's that pursuit that we're after.
You know, I was thinking, if you're swimming when you're not supposed to be swimming, or riding when you're not supposed to be riding, it's not just a bad idea for your own safety, but it's not good for what Steve is trying to create here, which is, it sort of reflects on the whole race itself.
We want you
think
to
about
have
more than just yourself in that case.
Definitely. We want you to have the greatest time ever. The city of Atlantic City has gone above and beyond to work with us. Everything from parking to roping off the boardwalk to cleaning and assisting with Bader Field. And it's funny, I just saw Mayor Guardian last week in Atlantic City, and he came up to me, and the guy's he's awesome. And he said, Steven, no matter what we do with Bader Field, he goes, you're locked in for as long as you want to be here. And that's a vote of confidence. I mean, that tells you that they really want this to happen. So the city of Atlantic City is excited for you to be here. We at Delmo Sports are excited. For those of you that aren't used to dealing with an Ironman race director that's as involved as we are, or as I am,
Right.
well, then just get used to it, because this is how we do things at Delmo Sports. We are upfront. We're transparent. We answer questions. If we're wrong, we admit it.
Right.
I mean, that's the way we want to be treated. That's the way I want to be treated.
Exactly.
And that's the way you deserve to be treated. So from us to you, to close this out, I thank you for checking in with us. I thank Dr. Mitch Green. You, the athlete, it means everything. And we're going to show people that in the Garden State, we do it the right way. And we're here to change the perceptions of everyone of how this thing's supposed to be done. We just want to do it better than anyone, and I can't do it without you. I can't do it without the volunteers. I can't do it without my family and friends, as well as just the overall community that says, yes, you can shut my road down all day long. Think about that, guys. I mean, we're talking about the domino effect that this has on the surrounding community. It's massive. And they said, in full support, go for it. Yeah. So what I'm saying to you is, on September 8th, 18th, go for it. Steve Delmonte, Dr. Mitch Green, Ironman 70.3 Atlantic City, presented by Delmo Sports. Over now.